now, a week on from the start of Israel's ground offensive in Gaza. The IDF says it's carried out more strikes on more than 2,500 Hamas targets and claims to have divided the besieged territory into two. Israel has also accused the terrorist group of systematically exploiting hospitals as part of its war efforts.
But Israeli forces have been criticised by the UN for a number of airstrikes in and around medical buildings. Well, joining us is former agent for the Israeli intelligence service, Mossad, Yossi Alpher. Yossi, thank you for joining us this morning. What do you believe Israel's next moves are as they continue to gain ground in Gaza and search for those hostages?
I think the next move is more of the same. We're not going to stop. We're going to continue to tighten the siege of the city of Gaza, make sure that the northern strip is separated from the south, continue as we have been doing from day one to encourage civilians in the north to move to the south and to try to make it possible for them, despite the obstacles that Hamas raises to this population move, because Hamas wants its own people as human shields against the Israeli offensive.
Where is the situation with the humanitarian side of it? We know that Blinken has made comments on a humanitarian pause. People on both sides seem to certainly support the notion of that. How possible is it, though, Yossi?
It's extremely difficult. Look, Israel does not object to the introduction of humanitarian aid to the southern part of the strip, where it's encouraging people to move to. With regard to the hospitals, anyone who saw the IDF spokesman's presentation yesterday in English saw how Hamas uses hospitals and ambulances for its own military purposes against us. And here we're up against some extremely difficult decisions. How to deal. Hamas's headquarters is under a hospital. This is against international law. It's against every law you can imagine. And there are humanitarian sides to this, but there are operational sides as well. And unless we dismantle Hamas, we will not have restored our deterrence against militant Islamists, including those in Lebanon and particularly those in Iran.
And Yossi, what is your response, to those who have accused Israel of committing their own war crimes in this conflict?
My response is that, awful as the humanitarian situation is, Israel is following international law. Every single combat unit has lawyers attached to it, which are advising on every move that the unit makes, whether it corresponds with international law or not. Hamas, which is not a recognized country, doesn't consider itself bound by international law, breaks all these laws all the time, particularly with what it's doing with hospitals, with human shields, with ambulances. And I would venture that when this is over and somebody goes to The Hague to accuse us of breaking international laws and humanitarian laws, we will be found in compliance with the law, despite all of the heavy losses that Hamas is causing.
Where does this story go, Yossi? Even if Israel are successful in getting all the hostages released, that's only one part of it, crucial as that is, of course. It's only one part of the story.
It's very crucial.
That can be achieved. That doesn't get rid of Hamas. Even destroying large chunks of their infrastructure and buildings where they have their HQs, etc., it still doesn't get rid of Hamas. Can anything ever get rid of Hamas? This is a thought process. It's an ideology. It's an air bubble. You push it down in one part, it comes up somewhere else.
Well, you can't get rid of the Islamist ideology, but you can dismantle Hamas in the sense of eliminating its leadership and dismantling its military infrastructure. by doing everything possible to free the hostages, because these two go together, and ending up with a deterrence against Islamists, whether it's neo-Hamas or Hezbollah in Lebanon or Iran or all the Iraqi Shiite militias that the Iranians are bringing to our Syrian border, or the Houthis in Yemen, sending them a deterrent message. We can't dismantle militant Islam, but we can certainly push them away and send them a serious deterrent message, which will allow us, and not only us, but our moderate Arab neighbors, to live in peace.